The first year I started snowboarding, and I was 13, and Andre and Simone were 11. It's a really funny story actually, because Andre and Simone said, we want to start snowboarding, and they've never tried it ever. And my parents said, well, if you want to start snowboarding, we're buying you a board and a pass. You're not even going to get to try it, and you have to do it. Like, you have to snowboard because we're buying you a full outfit and we're not letting you rent because it's too expensive. So they were almost pushed into snowboarding, and they had to snowboard. But they loved it, so. And they learned the first day, they were awesome, so. We had a little bit of a rail garden in our backyard. We had a flat bar that we could move whichever way we wanted, and it was probably this wide. It was perfect to do any tricks on. It was solid steel, so you never catch your edge on it or anything. And then we had a kink and a handrail. So we had a handrail with stairs and a kink that was it was like almost like this, I think. And then Simone would ride that every night. So he'd get back from school and he would ride till dark. And my dad set up lights in our backyard. And I remember watching Simone be out there by himself, just doing a front board until he got it down. Then he'd do it switch front board, switch front board, switch front board, switch front board. And that's how he got so consistent and so smooth. Our friend Brad Martin invited us for 2 weeks, and he was here and he was just like, hey, save up your money and come for 2 weeks. And we ended up going, and it was unbelievable. The first 2 weeks was crazy. It was on the glacier, so we only came to Whistler in the summer for three summers. We never rode winter. And so the first summer we rode for 2 weeks, and the glacier was awesome. It was when Public was huge. Public was like the whole bottom area, and it had like 6 jumps, big half pipe, tons of rails. And we went and just filmed and we snowboarded every day for 2 weeks and then flew home. And that's when we kind of just fell in love with Whistler. So we would go to school through the winter and ride in the winter, and then once summer came, we lived in staff housing for 2 months. Simone was always a frontside spinner, like ever since he was first starting. He was always doing like frontside 3s, front 180s, and frontside 540s. And then in following year, he started doing all the flip tricks. So he would do a lot of like backside rodeos, frontside corks, and he would do them switch and regular. And then he started spinning switch backside, and he could do like switch back 7s like in the first day. And yeah, he was more of a jumper before he was a jibber, for sure. And he was really good at half pipe, which not a lot of people know. He could do like crippler 7s, no problem. Switch cripplers, like he could do some good half pipe tricks.
Emotions
No, to start, Andre was actually better than Simon. Andre was the first one to spin like a 540. He was going big in the pipe, going big on jumps. And then right after that, shortly, Simon started to really progress because Simon really loved it and it was his life, I think. And Andre was different because Andre was a good skateboarder, good snowboarder, but he worked also and he had girlfriends and that kind of stuff. And Simon didn't. All he did was snowboard and he didn't have girlfriends, no work, just work in the summer and snowboard in the winter, and that was his life. That's his passion. Andre and Simon are one. Like they are one person. Andre, for a while, Andre lived at home in Ontario and Simon lived here. And it's like a 5-hour flight, so they could never really see each other. And they both get bummed when they're not around each other because they're very much a part of each other's lives. And that's why Andre moved out here and now lives with Simon. And it's just them. And they, it's very important for us three to spend time together because when we grew up snowboarding, it was always us three. It was never anybody else. I mean, it was all of our friends, but it was us three were always together, whether we're skateboarding, snowboarding, and like we're gonna go surfing in a week. All three of us just together, go camping, surfing. So Andre and Simon are best friends. They're more than best friends, It's pretty special what they have. It's good. They really they feed off each other, and Andre is very, very supportive of Simon, helps Simon in any way he can, and Simon helps Andre. So it's good. They keep each other happy. Yeah. Before Simon was even sponsored, we thought about doing it. So it was just Simon, Andre, and me. And we would spend so much money at the snowboard and skateboard shops because we always wanted to wear the, whatever brand was good at the time, and it was very expensive. So we started to decide, hey, we could make our own clothes and we'll just start making t-shirts for fun and give them to our friends. And we started doing that, so we just made t-shirts to start. Came up with a name and decided Simon backwards, NOMIS, would work well, not knowing that he would be a famous snowboarder. And then 2 years later, he won Nixon Jib Fest.